We're just going to take a few moments here, collecting ourselves, noticing how we're feeling, our thoughts, our energy, our body. Maybe if you have any aches or pains or any injuries that you should be mindful of today. We're going to take a moment here now to set an intention or focus for today's class. So maybe just think a little bit about why you decided to come to this exact class, join this practice, maybe what you hope to get out of it. Also, maybe thinking a little bit about your future in this practice. Where do you see yourself in the next 6 months or in a year? Anything particular you will want to have improvements on? Maybe just staying the same, maybe being a little bit stronger, a little bit more flexible. And then finally asking yourself, what can I do during this next hour to get maybe just one small step closer to this goal or these goals? And then when you're ready to continue, you can begin to engage the bandhas, starting with your root lock, Mula Bandha, the space between your legs, moving up to your stomach lock, Uddiyana Bandha, the lower abdominals, pulling gently in towards your spine. And finally, the throat lock or Yalandhara Bandha. Closing your mouth, breathing in and out through your nose, connecting with your active Ujjayi breath. When you're ready to move, you're going to gently drop your head down towards the floor, sending your chin more in towards your throat, maybe placing the back of your hands, maybe placing your hands on the back of your head. And then using gravity here, just coming a little bit deeper and deeper forwards. And of course, if you feel like exploring this pose, making a few small movements, then you can go ahead and do that. And start to release the pose. From here, we're going to drop one of our ears down to the shoulder. And again, adjusting your chin here so you're finding that stretch along the neck down to your shoulder. Maybe placing the one hand on as well, just using gravity here so not actively pulling down. But then straightening out the opposite arm, and I want you to twist and rotate from the shoulder so you find the stretch down along the inside of your arm, out to the palm, and maybe one or two of your fingers. Here as well, you can make some adjustments, maybe moving the arm forwards and backwards, up and down. So really exploring that stretch, trying to remember that feeling. We're going to be finding this again later in the class. Releasing the pose and changing sides. And on the next exhale, releasing gently here. Very nice, Yogi. Sending both of your arms out to the side on the inhale. Find that stretch, that lengthening, and then pulling the chest together, giving yourself a great big hug, walking the fingers back, pulling the shoulders and the elbows down on the exhale, curving over, pulling in your stomach, the lower ribs, dropping your head. Staying here or on the inhale, finding some length through the spine, keeping the shoulders down, but send your elbows up. 2 more, exhale and curving over. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, curving over. Very nice, Yogi. Remember which arm is on top. On the next inhale, lengthening. Spread the arms out and changing sides. So find that length and then pull the chest together. Give yourself a hug. Pulling, curving over on the full exhale. Inhale, coming up. And exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Very nice. Releasing here on the next inhale. Finding some length through the spine, and we're going to find this dynamic twist. So on the exhale, twisting to one side. Hands can be on the ground or on your thigh. On the end of the exhale, you release the pose, coming back to center. Inhale, again, find length. And then exhale, changing sides. And releasing, coming back. Feel free to find your own tempo here. You can also be activating our glutes, so pulling the knee down towards the floor. And think of rotating the inside of your thighs up towards the ceiling. The legs can also be active here, giving us some support. All right, coming back to center. Very nice. So bringing one leg out to the side here for a half bound angle pose, Adho Baddha Konasana. Hands can be back, so here keeping that activation in the glutes, opening up the legs, straightening, and if it's available, then bring the hands in front of you. Pressing down, rotate the biceps up, finding some breath. Deep breaths. On the exhale, release. So here the hand is coming out to the side. We're finding a little side twist, maybe the hand a little bit further behind you or closer to the leg if you want to go even deeper. Then you have to work on this twist. The other arm is up. Careful not to rotate the shoulders forwards, but rather rotating back. Find that length and then leaning over. Keeping the whole seat glued onto the floor. Find length out to that finger. Now stay here if you feel like doing a few twists. Following your breath, exploring the pose, then go ahead and do that. Maybe flexing and pointing the foot as well. Final breath. And exhale, we're going to release. Changing sides, opening it. Half bound angle pose. So pulling the legs down, opening them up, finding that length, maybe coming forward. Biceps, shoulders, bandhas. Here as well, maybe pulling the hands towards you to help find that length. Maybe flexing, pointing your foot here as well. And releasing the pose, coming back, finding that side stretch, Pavrita Yanushasana. Revolved head to knee pose. Hang here or exploring. Final breath. And on the exhale, releasing, rolling over the legs, coming up on all fours. Warming up the hands and the wrists. Hands under the shoulders. Index, middle finger, the peace fingers pointing forwards. Rotate the biceps, pull the shoulders in, further forwards, and then a little bit from side to side. Remembering this is still just the warm-up, and we're being nice and careful with our hands and wrists. All right, sending the weight back behind us, under our legs, rotating the fingers out to the side, or if it's available, maybe the index and middle finger pointing towards your knees. Now here, you can always bring the hands a little bit closer to your knees if that feels a little bit more comfortable, as then we can have a little bit more weight and control on the legs. Try not to overextend the elbows, so have that little micro bend, pull the shoulders down, and also a little bit from side to side if that feels good for you. Hey, very nice, you guys. Releasing here, shaking out the hands. And coming forwards into a modified plank position. So still just the warm up, so feel free to keep your knees and the toes down, or if your hands feel ready, then we can go ahead and lift up here. So just activating everything, taking a couple of breaths, moving around, exploring a little bit, maybe dancing with the hips, walking the legs. We're gonna find a little side plank flow. So drop one knee down to the floor, rotate the toes out to the side, and then opening up into our side plank. Rotate the biceps forwards, staying here, or if you feel like exploring a little flow, then on the exhale, closing the front body. And on the inhale, go ahead and open up the back body. Almost think of rotating your heart to the sky. 2 more. Very nice. And coming back to our plank, taking a moment here and then changing sides. Opening up. 3 deep breaths. And releasing the pose, coming back to our plank. We're bringing our right leg, or sorry, just one of your legs really, forwards. Taking a couple of breaths here, finding a stretch in the front of your thigh. Now just feel free, open up here, do what feels nice. Maybe you want to open up the hands to the side or find a little twist, maybe moving the hips a little bit forwards and backwards. Just doing what feels right for you in this pose. Final breath. And half split. So sending the hips backwards, adjusting the front leg, and the same thing here. So maybe opening up to the side, doing a little twist. Very nice, yogis. We're releasing here, finding our pigeon pose. So placing the leg underneath us. Remember, you can always bend both knees or just staying here in the full version. Stay up if you want to as well, finding some space, some movements, twisting a little bit, or just folding all the way over and relaxing. And releasing the pose, coming back to all fours and changing legs. Left leg is coming forwards. Taking a few breaths here, finding that stretch in the front of the thigh and hip on the back leg. Feel free here, open it up. Find a little twist. And half split, sending those hips backwards, adjusting the front leg. Of course, you can just stay here and breathe, or at least open up and flowing, moving with your breath. Okay, yogis. Pigeon pose, placing the front leg down in front of us, stretching out. Feel free to stay up or work your way over. And releasing the pose. Coming back to all fours, modified plank or full plank. We're going to move into our chaturanga push-ups, doing 5 here. So really activating the whole body, hips the same height as your shoulders, biceps. Pull the hands towards your toes, pull your toes towards your hands. And exhale, slowly come down. And inhale, all the way up. 2, exhale. And up. 3, exhale. Inhale, very nice. 4, just 2 more, almost finished. And up. Last time, exhale, stay down, find the pose, activate, breathe, 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 breathe. And laying down onto our bellies. Relax here, 2 breaths, shake out the hips. We're gonna find this little back bend cobra flow, so have some space between your legs. Press down the tops of the feet. Our hands are actually coming to the outside of our mats, but the same line as your chest. Index finger, middle finger pointing forwards, maybe even coming up on your fingertips. Now here, I want to see your elbows up. So activating the back body. Lifting the head and your shoulders. Keep activating more the back body here. And then at some point, we need to engage the hands just a little bit to start increasing that range of motion. But we're only going to get so far up until we need to pull those shoulder blades back, pull the elbows down, rotate the biceps forwards to find even more strength in the pose, and then exhale, releasing slowly, coming down, elbows up again. We're going to do 4 more, so a little bit faster. Inhale, all the way up, activate the back body, exhale down, and 3, inhale. Calming down. 4, inhale up. And exhale. Last time, inhale. And exhale, very nice. Relax, shake out those hips. Okay, pressing back, child's pose, downward dog. Stretching out the back. Feel free to explore your child's pose here. So maybe dancing with the hips, the ribs, walking the hands out to one side, maybe the other side. Just enjoy. Remember your bandhas, remember your ujjayi. Final breath. And coming up into downward facing dog. Same thing here. 3 breaths, just drawing the pose, walking the legs, dancing with your hips, twisting your spine, just doing what feels nice. Moving through a little vinyasa, we're coming forwards to a high plank. Drop the knees if you have to. Exhale, coming down. Feel free to Explore all the poses here now. Inhale into your upward facing dog, pressing, pulling, opening that heart. Exhale, coming back, downward facing. Very nice. Inhale, gaze forward between your hands. Exhale, bend both of your knees and start walking the feet forwards. Roll through the toes. Several steps. Moving into our Malasana, yogi squat, but wait for me. So here, placing the feet behind your hands, rotating the toes and the knees outwards. So the more you're using your hands, the easier it'll be. The less you use your hands, the harder it'll be for your legs. Keep the glutes active and that outer rotation, yeah? So here, we're gonna start lowering ourselves down to the floor, finding a little Malasana flow. And on the exhale, pressing and folding over. 2 more. Exhale. Don't just think of lowering the hips, but pull yourself down. So activating your hamstrings and pressing yourself up at the front of your thighs. And exhale, pull yourself down. Think of pulling the heels towards each other. Exhale up. Final time. Exhale, pulling yourself down. Find that length in your spine. Gather the hands, maybe close your eyes, helping the knees out, opening the inside of your thighs. 2 breaths. Okay, yogis, hands to the floor. Opening up here into our hero pose, so stepping the feet together and then sitting down. If this becomes too uncomfortable for your knees, then just place a block underneath or come to a normal sitting position, yeah? I'm just gonna adjust myself so you can see a little bit easier. We're gonna start moving into the flow. Now, we don't have like as much time today, so we're gonna flow like fairly quickly through the whole thing so that we have time for the cool down as well. So from here, one hand out to the side, and then we're gonna be moving into a few rounds here of a modified Ustrasana. On the exhale, coming forward, on the inhale, opening to the side and the heart backwards. And on the exhale, closing the body. And 2. Final time, and 3. Ending here over the knees. Exhaling. Hands, place them beside the knees. Index finger, middle finger, rotate the biceps. Playing here with a little lift up, so we're pressing down. Remember, in a lot of these arm balances, we just lean forwards to get the weight into the hands. And then we start lifting up. So maybe one knee or both of the knees coming down. Trying to have as little weight on your feet as possible. We'll do a couple more. Really working the core and your shoulders. Finding your own tempo here. Maybe start lifting 1 or 2 of your legs. But being careful with our hands and the wrists. Okay, next time we're going to lift up and then try to silently jump back to our low plank. And a little vinyasa. Upward facing dog. The downward facing. And taking 2 breaths. All right, yogis, lifting up the right leg, placing it forwards on the outside of the right hand. So here we're gonna transition to sitting. So the one easiest way is just to kick that back leg through to come to sitting, or a little bit more challenging, more weight on the right leg. So you're lifting up and then almost thinking pistol squat to come to sitting. Okay, again, I'm just gonna adjust so you can see a little bit easier. Doing a modified cow face here, one leg over or opening up the leg, or doing cradle the baby. So bringing that foot into the elbow, grabbing a hold around, interlace the fingers, pressing this front leg down into the floor, straightening out your back, shoulder blades together and shoulders down. And then thinking of straightening that knee a little bit so we really open up our hips, and then maybe rocking a little bit from side to side. If you feel like exploring the pose in any other way, then of course go ahead and do that. Final breath. We're gonna release the pose and come back the exact same way, yeah? So foot down beside us here. Maybe you wanna do a little lift up first, and then coming down. Maybe you wanna lift up, bend the leg backwards. Very nice. So modifying, finding our warrior three. So bring this leg, the right leg in underneath us. Coming here, so from a lunge, pulling yourselves forwards. Maybe starting with the hands down. You can stay here in your warrior three, or you can work into your standing split, or maybe you want to work a little bit towards some handstands. Then just bring your hands to the floor and then think of activating from that standing split, just doing a couple of small kick-ups. Final breath. Landing silently back down into our lunge. Finding our modified side plank, so just opening up to the side here. Keeping this front leg down, but opening the feet. So you can stay here, or maybe start dropping that hip down. Maybe even closing the arm and inhale, pressing into that front leg, coming all the way up. Really challenging for the hips here, getting this deep stretch. And final breath. Rotating back through the lunge, straightening that front leg and coming into our pyramid pose. Feel free to adjust the legs, and I'm going to give you 2 to 3 breaths here to really just enjoy this pose as well, opening up, straightening. Finding that nice deep stretch in the back of your hamstring and leg, maybe flexing the foot. And when you're ready, opening up to Prasarita Padottanasana, so turning the legs towards the inside, whichever way makes sense for you here. I'm just going to adjust myself so you can see a little bit better. So folding over, taking a few breaths. Maybe you just want to be here working deeper and deeper into the pose, or feel free to move the hips a little bit, move the legs, maybe swaying with your arms. Option if you want to, coming into a headstand, or maybe just a prep for the headstand. So spread the legs even more. You can come down into normal Sheshasana with Baddhahasta or Muktahasta arms. So bound hands or open hands, yogi's choice. Just doing a little lift up maybe. You can stay here. Think of straddling the legs. So from open to bringing them all the way up or into a little tuck. Just taking a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, we're going to place the feet down in front of us into our hero pose. Or if you're in Prasarita, then just walk, beautiful, Olga. Just walk the legs in. Very nice, Hila. Take your time, working the core, the glutes, the legs. Okay, from here, lifting up into that Lolasana lift to find our chair pose. So here, hands lean forwards, up into that little lift, slowly coming down and into chair. So from here, keep the pose active. All you have to do, not hands down directly underneath us, but rather further forward, just leaning in and then maybe lifting up into crane or crow. Or if you'd like to try your side crow, then you can do that. Then the hands are coming to the front of the mat. And try not to think of just like laying and resting on your arms, but really actively pushing down. So we're using our muscles here. Final breath. Nice. Olga. Coming back into our chair, placing the right hand in the middle of the mat, and then rotating away towards the back of your mat. Preparing for wild thing. So you can go up modified with both of your knees bent. The most important thing is your shoulder here, get that underneath you, so rotate the biceps forwards. If you want to have one straight leg, then you can go ahead and do that. And it'll be the same leg as the arm, that'll be straight. So coming up, hand on your hip or sending it over. Try to keep that shoulder over the hand, keep rotating, rotating, rotating. And think of your fingers are trying to almost get down towards the floor there. Keep working deeper and deeper and deeper. Watching that standing hand, exhaling, coming down. And rest. Woo! Oh, carefully though. Okay, so yeah, watch that wrist. You guys want to do one more round? Yay or nay? Okay, one more round for those that want to. So remember this hand, right? Rotating the fingers, really open up and then sending up. So really press into that leg. Maybe you can lift up the heel on that one leg. Go into the glutes, rotate the hips, rotate the heart, and think of moving into your bridge. Very nice, and coming back down. Beautiful, yogis. Okay, cross the legs. So left leg, same arm, that's, or sorry, right. I'm doing opposite. Same arm here so that we can twist towards, come towards the front of the mat again. And then doing a little dolphin pose. Now feel free to keep your fingers interlaced or hands together here, but middle finger, index finger forward, or open up to parallel arms to work the shoulders even more. And then just think downward facing dog in the rest of your body. I'll give you 2 breaths here to find the pose, and then option to stay here, or you can work a little bit more active. So think of then moving into your, when you're ready, into your 3-legged dolphin. Find that straight leg, that straight line from your arms through your shoulders, your back, your hips, your leg, and then lowering down, changing sides. Lowering down, take a break if you need to, or maybe start walking the feet forwards. So more and more weight onto your arms, almost that we can lift the feet, and then walking back. And then one final time, walking the legs forwards. And then we're gonna land in our hero pose. So dropping the knees down and then sitting on our legs. Woo! Yeah, beautiful. Remember to breathe. Okay, I'll give you 3 breaths here and then we'll change sides. So take a sip of water if you need one. And then we're doing everything on the opposite side. Maybe reminding yourself of your intention. And promise me something, this round, just enjoy it, have fun. Yeah, this is your practice. Okay, let's go. So the left hand is out to the side, find your deep breath. And 1. 2. And 3. Exhale, coming over, finding this Durlasana left, doing the same that we did. Or maybe this time we can do a little jump up and find a tuck and then slowly come down again. Trying to keep those biceps forwards the whole time. Very nice. 2, 3 more here. And then when you're ready, you're going to jump back or jump up and then back to Chaturanga. So when you come up, then you're slowly going to come down your low plank and finish your Vinyasa. Upward dog, downward. And then taking a couple of breaths. All right, left leg is coming forwards, the outside. Find this little lizard pose. 2 breaths here, opening up the hips. Thinking about the next transition, so kicking that back leg forwards with support from the hand or more focus on the left leg, and then stepping forwards and slowly, whoo, coming down. So crossing that leg over, into the half cow face or opening up or cradle rock the baby. So take some time here exploring the pose for yourself. Deep breath. And last breath. Releasing here, placing the foot down, stepping back, maybe do a little lift up here first. And coming back. Adjusting the front leg, finding our warrior three. Remember, press into that front leg, pull yourselves forwards, and then staying here, lengthening outwards in every direction, or moving into your standing split. Or if you'd like to do a few kick-ups, your handstand, you can do that. Ooh. Very nice, you guys. Do one final breath. And coming back, landing into our lunge. Moving into that modified side plank. So opening up, staying here, or finding a little flow. One more breath. Gently coming back to the lunge, opening up into our pyramid pose. 3 breaths here, really just enjoying and exploring the pose. Final breath. And opening up the legs into our wide-legged forward fold. Same thing here. Enjoying the pose, opening from side to side, twisting, just doing really whatever you want. And after a couple of breaths, if you feel like coming up into a headstand, then you can go ahead and do that. So when moving into the headstand, keep activating everything, pressing down into the hands, the core is engaged. You can spreading those shoulders. Beautiful. Very nice, Ela. Coming all the way up, we're not going to spend too much time there, just take a breath or two, and then full control, transitioning to hero pose. Yes, excellent. Okay. And from here, moving into our little lift up to chair pose. So lean forwards, lift up, and then as slowly as you can, coming down. Utkatasana. Staying here, coming into your crow or your crane, or doing your side crow or crane on the opposite side. Very nice. Bring the hip to both arms. Or sorry, the hip to the arm there. Yeah, there you go. Nice. Last 2 breaths. And coming down, now opposite hand to the side of the mat this time, rotating the opposite way. Depending on where's the front for you. And then we're doing wild thing on the opposite side. So remember, totally fine to have both your legs bent here. This is a very nice modified version. Or straightening out that one leg. Be able to come, make it a little bit more challenging, and look just that much more elegant. Taking a few breaths, coming down when you're ready. Resting a little bit. Yeah, watch those wrists. And one more time. Your own tempo. Keep rotating the heart upwards, 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 upwards. Yes, there you go, Olga. Very nice. Fingers towards the floor, hips up, 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 up. Yes. Beautiful. And when you're ready, calming down. All right, very nice. So crossing those legs underneath, the same as the arm first, so that we twist towards, keeping that support of the arm, and then finding our dolphin pose variations one more time. Coming down with the elbows, opening up. So it's very nice just to stay in dolphin pose. Maybe you just want to stay there and work, turning everything on, keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. Maybe you want to make it a little bit more challenging, lifting up one leg into three-legged dolphin. Pressing, 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 pressing. Maybe moving into a tiger curl here. So bring the knee into your chest, the heel into your glutes. And then stretching again. And changing legs. So breathe in, come up, stay there for one breath. And knee to chest. Knee to chest. And so there you go. And straightening, changing sides. Staying there, taking a break if you need to, walking the legs forwards. Walking the legs back. Maybe if you want to do a little kick up towards a forearm balance here into pincha, then you can go ahead and do that. So just think that from that three-legged dolphin that we were doing, just do a little kick up with that leg that's on the floor. So keep that super pressing, engage your core. Very nice. Yes, 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 yes. Or do a little handstand kick up, or just hold, or just take a break. Okay, very nice. And gently coming down here, releasing the pose, finding your child's pose, and take a few breaths. And rest. Okay, as you guys are still resting, you can come up to sitting, see what we're gonna do next. Any questions so far? Good? Okay. So doing a little headstand shoulder exercise. So feel free to do the version that you're comfortable with. So maybe just bound hands and do the regular Shashasana. So you're coming from here and just doing a little lift up and holding, maybe bringing one leg in at a time and see if you can bring in both legs. Or like maybe bring one leg in and lift the other leg up. So lots of options here. Or we can do a little flow class, and then we're really going to be working the core, super much for the core, but particularly our glutes and our legs, yeah, the thighs, which will be doing like a straddle, I don't know what you want to say, like a headstand straddle flow. So it'll be sort of like working towards, you know, getting those legs out to the side and all the way up, kind of what we were doing in Pasarita Partonasana, in the wide-legged forward fold. So it'll be, let's see what's the best way for me to show. So from here, bring your legs out to the side and then see if you can lift them up. And then the idea is bring them all the way up and together and then all the way back down again, and then touch, just barely touch your toes. So keep the legs straight the whole time and then come up. And then the idea is we're going to try to do at least 5 of these. So going all the way down, all the way up. Okay? But if that's too much, then just do the normal regular Shashasana. Just do a little headstand. And if you want to do a wall up against the wall that's next to you, then go ahead and do that. So depending on, you know, where you are with your practice and where the strength lies. Yeah, and watch the vases and, and the breakables that are right next to us in case we fall. And if you don't come all the way up with the legs, that's totally fine. Then maybe just lift them up a little bit and then bring them back down. Beautiful. Very nice, you guys. So Olga, maybe one thing that you could do, if you look at me here, I can show, I think if I show this way, you could start to work the strength a little bit more by getting a little bit more over your arms. So if you were to back up towards one of the walls so that you can walk up the legs, try to get it so where you can be like about 90 degrees in the hips, stay here, and then you can lift one leg up at a time. Yeah, to work on that balance and that stability and coming all the way up. I know it can be very heavy coming from all the way down here, but if you do get that little support from the wall, if you want to. Yeah, very nice. So just like stay there for a little bit, see how that feels. And then the next round, try to bring your arms a little bit closer to the wall. Even closer to the wall. Even closer. About there should be good. Very nice. So just engage everything and then maybe lift one leg up at a time, bring the leg down, one leg up at a time, bring it down. So taking a break when you need to, for as long as you need to, and then we'll try to do like one more round, yeah? Keep that core engaged. Very nice, Olga. So was it okay, Ila? Do you have any questions? It's all right? So it's nice when we do some poses or exercises like this that can be very heavy and very taxing, then to wait like somewhere between 1 to 3 minutes before we go again can be a good idea. Then we really get to rest and really get to build up that energy again for the next round. Because doing it too soon, maybe we haven't rested enough, and then it's going to be like, oh, just that much more taxing. Really just take a few breaths, another few moments here, and then do one more round. How was it, Olga, using the wall? Was it okay? Yeah? You could go, what I was seeing now, you could go even closer to the wall with your arms. Then when you go up, then you try to find that sort of 90-degree angle in your hips and your legs. We'll do one more round here, and then we'll start to cool down. So remember, full focus here, your arms, shoulders, your core, really working the whole body. So Olga, see if you can get one leg straight from your hips and straight into the wall, that we're not on that diagonal. Very nice, Ila. Two. 3. And Olga, you have to hold it as long as Ila's doing the lifts up. 2 more. Ooh, slow, 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 slow. You have one more? Yes. Very nice. Okay, calm down. Be careful after we do a lot of arm balance headstand work. Noticing the blood pressure and stuff. So maybe just doing a little child's pose for a couple of breaths. That's heavy. So doing this type of flow and a lift up, this is gonna really create a lot of strength in your body. It's a very challenging exercise. Okay, so when you're ready here, moving into your downward facing dog, just walking it out a little bit. And of course, full freedom here. So just really doing whatever you need to do. Bringing one leg forwards to the hands, dropping the back leg, stretching out the front thigh, maybe adding a twist, and maybe grabbing the back leg. Since this is part of the cool down, see if you can start to relax the body a little bit more. But if you'd like to, you can engage your glutes a little bit and your stomach, your lower abdominals, just to really increase that stretch on the front of the thigh. And maybe here as well, if it feels okay for that back leg and the knee, maybe start doing some rotations here. So working through that whole front thigh and hip. Keep rotating the biceps outwards, pull the shoulders down into the back, at least having that little intention. And releasing the legs. Straightening out here just for a moment and half split. Same thing, adjusting the hips and the legs. So almost including a little side stretch, yeah? And moving ourselves back to downward facing, changing sides. Finding that stretch with a twist, maybe grabbing, doing what feels right for you here. And finding that half split, Ardha Hanumanasana. And feel free to be a little bit flowy here. So opening up not just in the one muscle group, but also in the transitions around, but also of course noticing that nothing is painful or uncomfortable. Final breath. Releasing the pose, but finding the easiest way to come down to laying on your back. Give yourself a great big hug. Maybe holding the legs or around the thighs if that feels better, gently rocking from side to side. Feel free to lift your head and your shoulders as well. Finally, finding a little spinal twist, dropping the feet down. If you have a favorite, then go ahead and do that. Or straightening out one leg, the opposite knee over to the side. Here's while relaxing the body, but maybe a slight engagement in the lower abdominals. Find that length in the lower back, straightening out the other hand. Gazing over. And releasing the pose, changing sides, 5 breaths. Last two breaths. Gently start releasing the pose. Do any final adjustments that you might need here for Shavasana and rest. So when you're ready, just laying down on your mat, some space between the legs, the hands, and the body. And take a few minutes here. We have about 3 minutes to rest. So releasing the bandhas, releasing the breath, but maybe taking a few deep breaths here in through the nose and out through the mouth. While we're laying here, release all the way down into the mat. Moving our awareness towards just listening and observing. You can notice something new. fingers and toes. Ends and feet. Taking a few deep breaths. And when you're ready, rolling over onto one side, easiest way up into sitting. So finding a comfortable sitting position. Bringing our hands together in front of our hearts. Bowing our heads, thanking each other, but especially ourselves for today. Namaste. Beautiful, you guys. Thank you so much for joining and practicing again at home. This is really fun. So if you stick around, if you have anything to say, we can take a couple of minutes, or if you have any questions. And if not, then yeah, it's just past 7 now, so I understand if you guys need to.
Hi, it was fun.
Yeah, nice.